So in this video, we're going to talk about 4 strategies for writing good key points. Obviously, I'm going to be talking about English here. The need to be memorable cuts across languages. The tools are different, but in many cases, the goals are the same. The question is, how can we phrase key points well? The phrasing on a key point's not the entire point. It's just there to help the listener understand what you will talk about. So basically, I want the key point language to hold a spot in the listener's mind, and I'll fill that spot when I get to that point in the speech. So let's say I was delivering a key point speech on making public speaking a university requirement, and I came up with these points. You can see here, these key points are crazy long, right? Though the existing list of requirements is rather long, we could easily add public speaking to the list in a way that doesn't disrupt too many majors and other activities. All right, that's too long, too much detail. In essence, I'm trying to argue the entire point in its phrasing. I don't need to do that. It's hiding the important information. So get rid of that hot mess. Okay, now this is better. Making public speaking a requirement is doable. Making public speaking a requirement is good for a university education. So this version cuts down each key point to its essential ideas. So since we're writing concisely, each word has to do a lot of work. Now, let's say you work for a nonprofit organization that deals with biomedical industries. I don't know why I came up with that example. That's got to apply to like one human being watching these videos ever. But anyway, so let's say that's what you are, and a potential donor walks up to you and says, hey, tell me a little bit about your organization. What do you do? All right, let's say this is what you come up with. We investigate biomedical industries. We equip people to be better consumers. We push for industry improvements. Okay, investigates, equip, push. So these are evocative and detailed, right? With these words, you've given me a flavor of what you're going to do in that point. Investigates implies an attitude that's just not there if you say, well, we look at biomedical industries, right? Investigate sounds more like a watchdog role. So I guess what I'm saying here is be very deliberate with the words that you choose. So you want the key terms to carry most of the weight, and generally this means putting the key terms at the beginning or at the end of the phrase. So again, let's say I'm arguing to make public speaking a graduation requirement. I want the important terms to fall at the end of the point. So here's what I come up with. Such a requirement is doable, and it would be good for a university education. So in this case, I can front load the sentence with the known material, public speaking requirement, and then I can have the unknown material at the end. Now, when I deliver the point, those words will probably receive more oral emphasis, right? Such a requirement is doable, and it would be good for a university education. And you can move the key terms to the beginning of the phrase, the middle of the phrase. It doesn't really matter. The important thing is trying to drive the listener's attention to the key concept within the phrase. Parallel phrasing is simply repeating part of the phrase across different points. So again, if I was talking about my job as a speech professor, I might make the speech look like this. I teach, I do administrative work, I engage in public outreach. Man, that's about as minimal repetition as you can get, but nevertheless, it typically sounds good. At the very least, it sounds deliberate. So, speech writing is tough. It has to be short, it has to be memorable, it has to work. That's some parallel phrasing right there. But you can practice this type of writing by crafting concise key points and using evocative words.